So we just came off the Big Ten tournament, really proud of our group. But I'm still hanging on to the disappointment of that Purdue performance. But I did like our fight in the second half and was really proud of our team in the regular season and into the postseason. And now we're in that hurry up and wait stage for Monday evening. So I'll take questions. Got one over here, I think.
Suzy, going forward, it seems that all year long your team has really fed off the energy of Clarissa and Annalise. Going into the tournament, how do you get them to understand that this team all season long has fed off of their energy and take that forward into the NCAAs?
Yeah, I mean, they're fully aware of it. I think, there's nobody that wants to do well more than the two of them individually, certainly for their teammates. So, Annalise was disappointed in her performance. And the one thing about Clarissa and Annalise is that they do work and they are conscious of their contribution to the team and know that it's important. And, I know they're disappointed, and it's kind of enough said. I mean, we're going to get back in the gym and get ready and move on, and it's their opportunity to kind of have another chance, another go at it. At least their season didn't end that way, so that's a positive thing.
I'm going to ask you the same question I asked Tom Sunday. You can predict his answer, and I can predict yours. Can you cut your team a pass for Sunday, given what they've been through, tired legs, weariness, playing 3 games in 3 days?
No, I just was really disappointed in our, the way we came out. I know it's hard. I know 3 games in 3 days, but I just go back to the fact that we had a lot of kids play a lot of minutes, and I'm not a moral victory person. I believe in the real ones, and I know our team does too. So it hurts just as bad, and it's disappointing. And we're going to practice today. We gave them off yesterday, but we're going to practice today. We got to get back on the horse and get moving a little bit just to let some of that go. And I know I have to do that because I don't like to sit around and, think about that. It's time for us to move forward, as disappointed as we were. But yeah, I mean, I'm not going to give them a hall pass. I didn't take one this year for injuries. I'm not going to, and suspensions. I'm not going to take one in that championship game. It's hard to get there, and to let that go and to perform the way we did was disappointing. So we're going to get after it and get ready for the NCAAs. No, we wouldn't have practiced. We always give them Monday off. But, with the time that we have for the NCAAs, that layoff, probably would have given them a little more time, yeah. So, and I'm just saying that. I'm not doing it as a punishment. I just want to get the taste out of the mouth of just being frustrated. And it's not going to be real long, but I think we got to get in the gym again and get focused on what we can do and get back to the team we can be.
Suzy, can you just kind of talk about your conversation with Tori when she contacted you after Miss Basketball, and just talk about getting 3 of the last 4 Miss Basketballs in the state?
Yeah, we're really excited about Tori. I mean, she's a special talent, and she can play multiple positions for us. She's a combination guard, and she's big enough. She can play a 1, 2, 3. Yeah, when she let me know, I was very excited for her. I mean, there's nobody in the state that I felt like had earned it, and I think it's her numbers and whatnot definitely should have been a Miss Basketball candidate. But we really need an outside scoring threat, so I've been talking to her all season about her ability to shoot the basketball, come off ball screens, and hit deep threes. She can get to the paint. There's just so many great things that she can do. But when she let me know, it was a really neat moment for myself. Certainly, I'm proud of the fact that we've been able to recruit and land someone of her caliber. And the second piece is just how happy I was for her and her family. But she texted me. I was actually on the road recruiting, and she texted me the night that they lost in the regional. And her text was, "Well, the next game that I play in, I'll have a new coach, and it'll be you." So, in some ways, it was closing the door to her high school season and all of the things that she accomplished. On the other side, it was opening the door, and she came to the Big Ten tournament and was down there watching. And I know she's ready, and we're excited to have her.
Suzy, can you talk a little bit about going forward, getting the bid? RPI-wise, you were listed as a 21, but Charlie Cream at ESPN has you guys as a number 8 or 9 seed, which doesn't really jive. If you consider the RPI, you would figure it would be a 6 or 7. Can you just talk about your understanding of that, and then maybe how disappointed you'd be if you were 8 or 9?
Yeah, it's hard to predict. I mean, you don't sit in those rooms. I think, the positive thing is we got to let, what we've accomplished do the talking. And, the interesting and unique thing is, on the women's side is the home sites. And home sites adjust bids, I think, a little bit, I mean, I know they would say that it doesn't, but I've been on the side where it's helped us. I've been on the side where it's hurt us. So I do know both sides of it. And, I hope with the 21 RPI that there's no way we should be an 8 or 9, but stranger things have happened. And one thing about this group is that we are prepared and ready, and we've had so much adversity that wherever they send us, wherever they put us, we'll be ready to fight and compete no matter what the situation is. But I have to believe with the 21 RPI we would be better than an 8 or 9. And I don't know about those I never can say that word. What is that word? Thank you. Those people. I'm not sure how much how much there's some accuracy, a little bit, I suppose, on some level, but I don't think the committee really looks at anything that, Charlie says. What do you guys know? That's how you're built, right? Very little, yeah.
Coach, how will you use this week, not knowing your opponent and just with the time off going into the NCAA and knowing you're going to play an opponent you likely haven't seen before?
Well, I mean, obviously we need to work on some things from an offensive side of the ball and continue to develop defensively. I mean, I think the positive thing about this layoff is that you really can focus on yourselves. But we're gonna move forward. We're gonna get after it. I think, it's a hard time to know exactly what to do, but I feel really good that we've got a plan. We're gonna practice Tuesday, Wednesday, early Thursday morning, give them off Friday, Saturday, come back Sunday night, give them off Monday, and be ready to go with our opponent. So I feel really, really good about the plan that we have, maybe more so than what we've had in the past. I just don't want to give them too much time off because I feel like you got to stay a little bit focused. You don't want to lose your edge. You don't want to lose your competitiveness. You want to stay in shape. At the same time, you got to be careful you don't push too hard and end up in a situation where, heaven forbid, we have one more injury as we, experienced that with Akaya Taylor. I mean, she's done for the year. She has a fracture of her, the orbit bone right in there, and she's getting double vision. So she may have to have surgery at this point, so we're down even more now in numbers. So got to balance both those sides. But I feel like we have a good plan. We're ready.
In your time here, you've played on the home court, you've played on a away court, and you've played on neutral courts in the tournament. Do you prepare any differently for any of those venues? And which, at this point, I mean, obviously you would prefer home, but you don't have that luxury. But between playing on someone else's court and playing on a neutral site, do you prefer either one right now?
I'm a big neutral site fan. I don't know how many coaches would say they'd love to play on somebody else's home court. Although our team has performed pretty well on the road, and I think one thing we've done is in the preseason we did go out and play in situations where put us in tough environments. We've played on neutral as well a couple different times this season. So I just, the Big Ten has some really great crowds on the road, and we've played in hostile environments. So I think we're ready, Chris, for anything that they give us. Obviously, selfishly, I hope that we're not playing on somebody's home court just because that's tough, But stranger things have happened. Never know. Yeah, I know they're working some details out. I mean, that's kind of on Mark Hollis a little bit to kind of look at the contract with the MHSAA, with the finals, because obviously that's the issue is the state finals here, and you have to have either a Thursday, Saturday, or a Friday, Sunday, and there's so many rules and regulations, as you know, at the NCAA on entrance into the building and practice times. You could not possibly host both of the first and second rounds. Yeah, it's kind of a catch-22 for both sides. I mean, we're not disappointed to host the state finals. At the same time, selfishly, you kind of would love to have some home court advantage too. So, one more question right here, Brian.
What have you kind of seen from Camille this year, and do you think she's someone that could definitely help you next year?
Yeah, Camille's a transfer from Auburn that sat out this year. I mean, she's nothing short of a gym rat, I'll tell you that. I mean, it's one thing to transfer and have to sit out and not be able to participate except for in practices, but if you hear a ball bouncing at all hours of the day and night, that kid's in the gym. She comes in here 2-3 times. I mean, many of you have probably seen her. it's really impressive on some levels, and other levels you got to kind of get her to pull back a little bit so her body doesn't wear down. But she can really score the ball. She's another combination guard that's probably more off guard than point guard, but certainly played point guard in the SEC some. So, we're looking forward to her ability to extend defenses and make good decisions for us. And I like what I see out of her in practice. She's a high-level BCS player and competitor, so I'll take another one of those on my team any day. Any other questions? Oh, one more.
Coach, just how do you think, this Big Ten schedule prepared you guys for the NCAA tournament?
Well, I think the Big Ten is, as good as it's been in a long time. I think, I've said it before, it's very similar to the men's side. You see some, top to bottom, there's not a whole lot of tiers. There's a lot of parity, so I feel like, we've prepared very well. I think Penn State, for all of us in the Big Ten, has been, a nice challenge in terms of their size and their athleticism and their pressure and things like that. I think there's different and unique styles. There's been a lot of pressure back to zone. We've seen a lot of zone this year, and also obviously a lot of mans and doubles and traps and things. So I feel really good about the entire Big Ten Conference going out there and battling for wins in the NCAA postseason.